Hello everyone, my name is Ben Golash with New England Low Vision and Blindness, and today we're going to take a look at the Clover line of portable magnifiers. So these magnifiers range in size from 4 inches to 12 inches. Now the largest one that we have in this lineup is the CloverNote, which I've already done a full video on. You can find the link in the top of this video. It's going to pop up right now. So I encourage you to take a look at that video because the CloverNote is it's a pretty good device, and I go into depth into that device. So for now, I'm going to just do a quick overview of that device in this video, but if you wanted to get a more in-depth look, take a look at our other video on that. For this video, I'm going to break up these devices into 3 different sections because a lot of these devices are very similar in their layout. The screen size is just a little bit different. So the 4 and the 5 are almost exactly identical. They have the same button layout and everything except for the screen size. So it's a 4-inch and a 5-inch screen. Then with the Clover 6, we have a 6-inch screen. This device has a different setup compared to all the other devices in this lineup. So that will be its own category. And then we have the Clover 7 and the Clover 10, which are almost identical except for a few key features that are different between the two. So I'll get into depth into those as well. So all of these are considered portable magnifiers. So they're good for putting in your pocketbook or your pocket, going out to the restaurant, maybe going to the grocery store, going to the store to be able to see price tags, maybe the thermostat, or anything that is a short reading task where you need a device just available on your person at all times. So starting in the lineup, I have the 4-inch and the 5-inch. Like I said before, these devices have very similar layouts. The only main difference is the screen size. So looking at the device here, we have 2 magnification buttons over on the right side. The top one is the plus and the bottom one is a minus. The power button is over here on the top. This is going to be on the top left. This is a physical button that I'm going to press and hold to power on the device. Just takes a second to power on. And to demonstrate, I have this recipe here. So there's 2 ways of magnifying with this device. The main way is to leave it flat on the piece of paper. Once I do that, I'm able to move the device back and forth to read line for line. I could use the plus and the minus over here on the right side to magnify and to demagnify. We also have a blue button here in the middle with 2 arrows. This button is the color button. So if I switch through, I can either go up or down through the color contrast settings. I can also press both of these arrows at the same time to go in between color and the color mode magnification and the color contrast modes. So I would say comparing this to other handheld magnifiers, it has a very comparable image quality. We also have a lot of the same features. So we have a freeze button. This freeze button is great if you're looking at maybe a telephone number. You just freeze that right on the screen here, and then you can go over to the telephone to dial it. Many other magnifiers of this size have that feature. Now this does not save images onto the device like others do. So this does not have an internal hard drive. So you are not able to save any of your frozen images onto the device and bring them up later. This is just a simple freeze where I press it once, it locks it, and then green. When this image is frozen, we're able to change the colors, we could change the magnification, and then when we press that freeze button again, it will unfreeze the image, and then we can do our live viewing again. This device also has a stand on the back, so it's a little stand arm that is designed for doing writing with this device. So if I place it down with the stand firmly up, I can hold the device and get a pen or a pencil underneath this device to either sign checks, we can write any type of documentation, sign any documentation. So that's a really nice feature with this device that no other handheld magnifier has. Once I'm done with that stand, I'm just going to fold it back down, and then we're back to our regular magnification mode. So like I said before, these two devices, the 4-inch and the 5-inch, are almost identical. It's just that the screen size is a different size. It's just that the screen is a different size. So all the button layouts, all the functionality are exactly the same for this. The case is exactly the same. It's almost the same weight. I would say it's pretty much the same weight, which is about 1/4 pound. So it's very light. It folds up and goes into your pocket quite nicely, or your pocketbook, or your backpack, anything like that. Next up in the lineup, we have the Clover 6, which is a 6-inch screen. This has a completely different setup than the last two devices that we tried out. This has a fold-out stand as well as a handle that flips out like this. So if I wanted to do any viewing of a, let's say a price tag or something on the wall, I'm able to use this handle to be able to view that image on the wall or the price tag much easier. And the stand is wonderful for looking at documentation or anything that's down on the table. So once I flip out that stand, it will power on automatically. Just takes a second to power on. And once we're on, the lights will come on, and then we're able to see our text on the screen. We also do have a physical power button that's over here on the left side. It's at the top left corner. If you push and hold that in, it will power on the device. Now over here on the right side, in the middle we have the plus button, and on the lower part we have the minus button. Up on this top section here, on the right side, we have the freeze button and the save button. So you are able to save and recall images with this device because it has an internal hard drive, unlike the last two devices that we saw. On the left side of the device, we have this top blue button, which is a line mask. So we're actually able to put a line on the screen so that we can track where we are within our document. If you continue pressing this, it will go to a vertical line, and then it will also go to a line mask. So we're able to limit the amount of information that's on the screen. If I press this another time, this goes into a vertical line mask, and then another time, the line mask goes away. Now on the bottom of the left side, we do have the color buttons. So this middle one will change to our artificial color contrasts, and then the button on the bottom will go into full color. Now this device has a really cool feature, and it's one of the only handhelds that I know of that has a touch screen. So we can actually move the image with our finger on the touch screen. Now this is limited, just like the CloverNote or the Cloverbook, to what our minimum magnification is. So if I zoom all the way out to the first zoom, then I'm not able to move this image around. If I zoom in, then I'm able to move it within that initial frame. So this is a really neat device for that reason. A lot of people that I work with, when they have a handheld, they want to be able to use the touchscreen, but no other device in this size range has a touchscreen. Another really neat and unique feature with this handheld is that it has distance viewing. So if I close this back stand, it will go into the distance view mode. I can get the handle out here, and I can look around me and magnify the environment around. So this is a really great feature if you're in a grocery store or if you need to read any signage. You're able to zoom in on your environment around you. You can freeze that image, you can investigate more, You can magnify it, you can move around that image with the touchscreen, and it's just a really nice way of navigating your space and using the distance camera. Next in our lineup, we have the 7-inch and the 10-inch, which are a very different setup from the other devices that we've seen in this video. They're very similar to each other. We have this stand that folds out in the back that we can fold flat. So you're able to put this in your pocketbook or your backpack in a nice flat configuration. And then if I want to go into the reading mode, I just flip out the stand like so. I can place this on my document and power on the device with the button over here on the left side. It's the left top side. The power buttons are in the exact same positions on both of these devices. So I'm going to press and hold, and it's going to power on. So now we're able to see the magnification capabilities of this device. Now all of these buttons on the front side are going to be our magnification. We have the color buttons on each end, and then we have a joystick in the middle, which is an orange joystick. This joystick is very similar to both the CloverNote as well as the Cloverbook line. So we're able to magnify this image and then move the image around with our joystick, which is a really neat way of navigating a document. We have the plus and the minus here on the front, like I mentioned, so just pressing and holding that, we're able to zoom in, zoom out. And then if we wanted to change the color contrast, it's this button over here on the left side. Press that and we can cycle through all the different color contrasts. The button over here on the right is going to bring us into the full color mode. So just pressing that once, we're going to go back into full color. Now we have a couple of other buttons over here on the sides, which is different from the 10. So currently we're looking at the 7. I'm going to get into kind of the main differences of the 10 and the 7. But over here on the left side, it's this blue button. And when I press that, it's going to bring up our line mask. So for both the 7, the 10, as well as the 6, the blue button is going to bring up the line mask. And it's the same operation to where I cycle through. We get the vertical, we get the mask, and then it goes back to normal viewing mode. So that's a really nice feature that we're able to have that line mask button widely available so that when you need it, you just press that button and it activates. We also have on the other side an orange button, which is the freeze button. We can also save images on this device by pressing and holding that button down, and it saves it onto the internal memory. Both of these devices also have a distance view mode. So if I close the stand while it's still powered on, I'm able to hold it up and magnify my surroundings just with the plus and the minus. In this mode as well, I'm able to use the joystick to move the image around. And then once I'm ready for reading, I unfold that stand and place it back down on my document. Another great feature of this Clover 7 is the autofocus lock, which is really nice if we're doing a distance view and the focus continually jumps in and out. We can press this orange button here on the bottom and it will lock the focus. So the autofocus will no longer be activated and it won't jump around at all. Now the main differences between the 7 and the 10 are that the button layout is a little bit different, whereas the line mask button is over here on the bottom of the device versus on the top edge, as well as the freeze and the save button is on the same location opposite of that line mask. Alongside those button changes, we have a self-viewing camera on the 10-inch version. So it's this camera here on the top middle. To activate that, it's an orange switch on the top left of the device. When I switch that, it goes into self-viewing mode. Now, a great benefit of this self-viewing camera is you're able to do shaving, makeup, or any self-hygienic uses. You're able to use this self-viewing camera to do any of those tasks. So that's very unique to this 10-inch in the lineup. Okay, so that does it for the Clover lineup. Like I said in the beginning of the video, you can check out the CloverNote in full detail in the other video that we made. That link will be in the description, as well as the link to all of these devices on our website. So please check out our website as well as the rest of our YouTube channel. We have so many great videos and reviews of assistive technology devices for low vision. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please click the like button and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next one.